Hi, Steve Harrison here with authorsuccess.com, and I'm so pleased to bring this interview to you. This is Gladstone Etienne. Gladstone is actually a master herbalist. He's one of the foremost millennial herbalists. He's a health coach. He's also an herbal tea connoisseur, and he's really all about transforming people's lives through herbal tea and through the whole experience of it. Gladstone, glad you're
Yes.
with me.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
You have a really interesting story. Go ahead and tell us your story.
Sure. Thank you. So I'm actually from Dominica in the Eastern Caribbean. Most people think it's Dominican Republic, but it's not. I've heard that like quite a few times. And so I kind of, grew up in that small island, which is the nature island, the Caribbean. So there's like a strong emphasis on natural living, healthy remedies, and stuff like that. My mom was a traditional island herbalist. So even as a kid, like, she taught me how to sort of like, brew herbal tea. And, even as a child, I rarely visited the conventional doctor for any sort of ailments. If I had like a sprain, I was playing sports, or any kind of ailment, like natural therapies, natural remedies were used for that. So I sort of grew up in that culture. And like I said, around the age of 13, she started teaching me how to blend cinnamon and bay leaf and different herbs. And so I kind of grew up in that culture. And also a side note to that is that Dominica has the highest amount of centenarians per capita in the world. And that is attributed primarily to the way they live, the fresh air, the natural sunlight, and herbal remedies and the diet. So kind of growing up from that. And about the age of 16, after high school, I migrated to the US to sort of further my education and also my herbal education as well. So to make a long story short, around 2014, that's when I actually decided to launch this. And the first thing I did was I sort of designed this 28-day program, right? My first herbal tea blend, which I called Body Radiance, actually. And excuse me. And so when I did that, I found like 10 clients all over the different parts of the US. And I said, hey, go ahead and do this program, do the waiver, and then you're going to do the program for 28 days. I provided like counseling sessions, coaching sessions as well. And let's see what happens in the end. It was free course. And so at the end of the 28-day program, the results are just amazing. Like, from improved skin, mood, wellness. There was one lady who had like, she was having up to 25 migraine attacks for the month. And after undergoing this program, she had only less than 3 attacks for the month.
Yeah, yeah.
So after that, it was clear, like, I should start this company. So I launched it in 2014, and I have been at it ever since, up until now. And so, but, one of the things I have noticed is that a lot of people, like, in America back then, there was not that awareness, right, of the herbal therapies and herbal remedies and stuff like that. So there has definitely been an educational awareness component to just, it's like when the person knows, they're educated, they kind of have an understanding as to why should I incorporate this into my life?
Yeah.
Then they have this aha moment.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. So if somebody said to you, hey, why do herbal teas matter? What would
Well,
you
oh, I mean, my first response would be herbal teas are as important as water to health and wellness. I mean, that's the degree of importance, right? Herbal teas. So if you think about herbal teas and herbal remedies, like herbal teas help to detox the body, herbal teas help to relax the body, herbal teas help to even with if you are experiencing stress and anxiety. So it's really multifaceted, right? And so even eliminating the free radicals from the system, right? And another great benefit of herbal teas, it's like very minimal to no side effects. And in many cases, you can actually use herbal teas with your conventional medication, with few side
Hmm.
effects. Depends on the types of herbs, right? So
Yeah.
herbal teas are just amazing. And I think if people can incorporate coffee as a ritual in their life, then why not herbal teas, right? I mean, that's kind of the mindset behind it.
I love that. I love that. Tell me about when people think of tea, you mentioned coffee. What about caffeine? So there's tea that's caffeine free. There's teas. Any thoughts on tea with
Yes,
caffeine?
yes, that's a very good question. Actually, so with the herbs, most of the herbs are caffeine free, right? However, you have like, the green teas, right, that have lots of caffeine. You have other herbs with caffeine. And so in my practice, I tend to stay away from caffeine, right? Because caffeine it's good, but it does have some implications as well. So most of the herbs that I curate, right, it's really blends. I don't do necessarily do single leaf. I do multiple parts of the plant and I combine them into a blend. And I try to stay with the non-caffeine and blends. That way
Well,
more people can enjoy them and they don't have to get that,
and they're probably getting their caffeine some other way anyway if they're
right.
they're geared that way. So good. Yeah. And so, one of the things I know you also talk about that a lot of people don't is looking at foods really as the foods we eat as an investment. Talk about that.
Yes. So that's something that we kind of have to have a mindset shift as a people, as Americans, right? Most people they look at food as an expense. We look at the house as an investment, our stock portfolio as an investment, but then what we need to put in our body to give us the strength, to give us what we need to function and to be productive, we're classifying it as an expense, right? So it's that whole mindset shift. And a lot of times people say, well, the healthier foods there, the more expensive, and that's true. But then if there is that mindset shift, then you can say, you know what, maybe in other places that I spend money, I can choose to say, hey, I'm gonna spend that money, make a savings on this end and spend that money into the foods that are actually gonna help me be productive, are gonna help me not have to, end up having potential medical expenses and mishaps. And I think the real key about it is, not only living a longer life, but living well while living long. That's the idea. And
Yeah.
I think herbs and natural eating and natural foods are just a staple of that.
And I bet if somebody hasn't been incorporating herbal teas into their life,
Mhm.
it's like, wow, they probably get, their body probably responds quite well. Like they probably sense a real difference.
Yeah, I would say that. I would definitely say that. And it's and just my message to the audience is to be curious, be open-minded, to and the reality of the situation is that more and more people are moving towards that, right? Are moving
Yeah.
towards open towards, natural therapies, natural remedies, meditation, all these sorts of things, they kind of help. And I think herbs, it's one of the pillars in that vein as well.
So, so Gladstone, how can people get in touch with you?
Yes, they can get in touch with me by going to my website at zabicolife.com. That is ZABICOLIFE.com. And then there they can reach me. They can drop a note. If they have questions, I'm more than willing to answer them and to share. Because again, the whole idea, the mindset behind what I do, it's really to inspire people to use herbal teas as a lifestyle. Most of us we use herbal teas when I have a stomach ache, I feel headache, something like that. But I believe if we use it like we use coffee, like we drink water, I think we'll be better for it. Yes.
Well, Gladstone Etienne, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Steve. It was a pleasure to come on today. Thank you so much.